Maria José recounts her near-death experience that occurred in 1995, where she was rapidly pulled out of her body. This experience made her question if she was dead amidst fear, confusion, and the desperate wish not to be taken. Feeling lost, she would go back and forth countless times from what she describes as the path we all must take when our earthly journeys come to an end. However, the most crucial question her experience raises is, what exists in that place? And where do we go after it? Hello, I'm Marcus, and it's a pleasure to have you here at Beyond the Life We Live. I hope you feel at home and absorb the lesson from the story we're about to share. By the way, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as it's very important to us and helps bring more impactful stories to you. While at home with her daughter, Maria starts to feel unwell, experiencing intense headaches and dizziness. As she attempts to throw something away, she suddenly feels herself being pulled out of her own body. This was the start of her near-death experience. Unlike most other cases, she described the sensation of leaving herself behind and observing from above. Disturbed and confused, she couldn't understand what was happening and simply returned to her body. Yet strangely, Maria is pulled out again, this time trying to hold on to her daughter's hand, but with no success. This time she notices she is further away, above the clouds, seeing herself from above while hovering over the area where she lived. And each time she returned and left her body, she seemed to be going further away. It was then that she began to question if she was dead, generating a sense of panic in the situation. Still very nervous, she realizes that in this state she can observe everything in detail, even small things, while hovering in the sky. Since she was projected out of her body from her own house on a sunny day, she could see the field and the entire landscape from above. This sensation of being pulled out and then back into her body repeated itself over and over until she noticed that each time she was being taken further and further away. It was then, as she distanced herself even more, that she began to see the earth. Something, according to her, was very disturbing. Then, along with the confusion, Maria felt an absurd fear, begging not to be taken while wondering if she was already dead at that moment. From there, she then felt an unusual sense of security, but also a fear of falling, unable to fully appreciate the beauty of that scene because of the fear. This feeling was stronger when she imagined what would happen to her daughter without her presence. Despite feeling accompanied by something or someone, Maria saw no one during these moments. She also didn't feel pleasure or immense happiness, as reported by other people, and all she felt was the desire to return to her daughter. It was then that she noticed something she hadn't seen before. Her vision was at a 360-degree angle without needing to turn to see everything around her. In this back and forth, in one of these returns to the body, she manages to speak to her husband, calling him and asking him to come to her because she didn't feel well. However, until help arrived, it took quite a while, and during this time she kept experiencing this back and forth from her body, losing some fear as she noticed that she always came back down after rising. With this, she started to calm down, and at that moment, she noticed how the earth was perfectly round and small from afar. And the view around her was complete darkness, which caused her anxiety. Although she didn't see anything, she felt as if something was holding her, and she feared being let go and falling into that immense dark void. It was then that her husband finally arrived and took her to the hospital, where doctors couldn't exactly determine what had happened, since apparently all tests were normal. Maria remembers observing everything happening around her in this back and forth, until at some point she simply lost consciousness and couldn't remember anything else. After her recovery, when she recalled having left her body, even in the hospital, seeing everything happening around her, including the doctors and movement at the site, she started to wonder why she had gone through all of that since she was apparently fine. Maria remembers that during this experience, she also saw her own body and felt as if she was taking care of it, which led her to believe that she wasn't in a coma, but rather in a state where she wasn't interacting, but aware of her breathing. Later, doctors discovered that she had suffered a stroke, and Maria was only informed later when these same doctors discussed it during a meeting she was present at. Since then, she came to believe that the life we have here is limited to shells, which we call bodies, and in her case, that shell had broken. And today, she believes that we are born, grow up, live, and age for some reason, only to finally leave for the place we came from. And what she witnessed would be the path we walk toward this place, something that, for us living, remains completely a mystery.